In the scam home warranty business, the people are represented by two separate but equally lazy groups: the authorization agents who deny claims and smoke like chimneys, and the technicians who lie through their teeth to snag a few extra bucks. These are their stories. Disclaimer: I am not a licensed electrician. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just somebody who used to work at Scam Home Warranty and has seen 1,000 electrical claims get denied. With that out of the way, these are the top 10 things not to say to Scam Home Warranty Electrical Edition. Number 1. Energy Management Systems. The policy excludes load control devices, low voltage systems, and service entrance cables. Now, a low voltage system in the home would typically be something like a smoke detector or an alarm system of some kind, perhaps an intercom system, a surveillance system of some kind, a doorbell, including one of those Nest doorbells that are very popular these days. A load control device is a pretty new thing. It limits how much electricity a house can use at one time. So, for example, if you have your AC running and you're about to make dinner, but you're also doing a load of laundry and running the dishwasher, the load control device would start turning off appliances until it reaches its goal level. The thing is that load control devices are popular in homes which have solar energy as a source or some sort of other alternative fuel source, in which case the home wouldn't want to be using more electricity than it's generating if the homeowners are intentionally trying not to pay into the electrical bill at all because they have a backup system of some kind. These might also be used in an apartment, home sharing duplex situation with multiple tenants in which one shouldn't be using more electricity than the others. Number 2, failures and conditions caused by inadequate wiring capacity, inadequately sized breakers, circuit overload, power failures, shortages, surges, and so forth. Now, power surges of any kind are excluded everywhere in the policy. Almost every individual system or component that can have a power surge has it excluded there as well. But this gets more to the root of the problem, where the power surge is coming from. Inadequate wiring capacity can come from an older home which has older wires. Inadequately sized breakers goes along the same line as that. A circuit overload could be caused because of that. Power surges can come from just about anything that could be beyond the control of the homeowner. Power surge could come from the utility company. Ideally, there would be a breaker in the way, but if that breaker is undersized, that's where the power surge would be hitting the home. Power surge could fry all of your electronics. It could make the outlets in the wall start smoking. A power surge can come from a lot of places and have a lot of side effects, up to and including destroying the wire itself, frying it right there. Number 3, lighting fixtures. So any kind of lighting fixture is excluded along with the wiring going into it, specifically part of the lighting fixture itself. So a chandelier, an outside light in your bathroom, light in the hallway. These lights themselves and the fixtures are excluded. The light bulbs are also excluded. If a light goes out in the house and it is due to the light itself, it is most likely not going to be covered. However, if a technician can fix a light in a fixture and the bill is low enough, it is possible Scam Home Warranty will just cover it as a courtesy, but that's never a sure thing. You're playing dice, or rather Russian roulette, with the authorizations agent. Number 4, solar power systems, panels, any other components and parts. Interestingly enough, this can go into the warranty by other company denial exclusion because some solar panel and systems come with a warranty from the company that had it installed because they are warrantying the solar panel itself. Additionally, because solar panel is such a new industry despite being around for so long, referring to specifically, well, here in New Jersey, there was the solar boom that happened about 10 years ago, where there was a large rebate for customers installing solar panels. So, since that is an aftermarket part, that would also be excluded as an aftermarket or new construction done to the home. Wouldn't necessarily be under the warranty in the first place. Even if it is part of the home, the fact that it is on the roof would exclude it. Also, there is the exclusion under roofing itself, which I might remind you is auxiliary coverage in the first place. Solar panels are not covered as part of the roof. Any damage caused to the roof by the solar panel would be excluded. Number 5, alarm detection systems and other multimedia systems. So this part of the policy is excluding any kind of intruder alarm, a fire alarm, a carbon monoxide alarm, but also any kind of telephone wiring, a telephone system, or a multimedia system. So if, for example, you have speakers wired throughout the house to play music from all at the same time from a central location, all of those speakers, along with the wiring, would be excluded. That is not a covered part of the policy. Any kind of security system that is installed would also be not part of the policy. This goes into coverage by other companies. Typically, a security system is also going to be warranted by the company that is installing it. So that would be a third-party warranty and therefore excluded from the policy. Number 6, auxiliary or sub panels, bus bars, and utility meters of any kind. These are all excluded parts of the policy. Perhaps the main reason why a panel, auxiliary or otherwise, would be excluded is because it is extremely expensive. Sub-panels such as disconnect switches are typically installed for exterior things in the first place. You would have a sub-panel installed, for example, for your pool, so it would be on a separate circuit from the rest of the home. However, other items such as an air conditioner that is affixed to the outside of the home, like most are, in fact, almost all, would have its own sub-panel in some cases, depending on the size of the unit. For example, a 5-ton unit would definitely want its own sub-panel, because if that breaks, it could take out the whole electricity system of the home with it, which goes back to the earlier exclusions regarding power surge. By excluding bus bars, it is also excluding by extension a main panel, because one of the only reasons you would have to replace a main panel in the first place would be because the bus bar has failed in some way. That way the home warranty company gets to say, oh, we do cover panels, we just don't cover the bus bar making up most of the panel. It would be like saying, oh, we cover the heart, we just don't cover the aorta and the ventricles. Additionally, the only reason a bus bar would fail aside from a power surge would be from corrosion or rust over time, and of course those are excluded elsewhere in the policy as well. So the likelihood of scam home warranty ever replacing a panel is next to none. In fact, I can think of only one time in which I had to replace a panel, and we covered the bare minimum of it, just the price of the panel itself, not the installation, upgrades, modifications, labor associated with it, running new wires, all of that was excluded. Number 7, attic exhaust fans. So under ceiling fan coverage, this is mentioned, but it's also mentioned here as well. An attic fan would be different from any other kind of fan in the home. This is typically used to replace a traditional HVAC system or supplement it. An attic fan does a great job of cooling a home at a much lower price to the homeowner than a traditional, for example, straight cool or heat pump system. The problem with an attic fan is that they are notoriously hard to maintain. They usually get cluttered pretty easily. They are almost always filthy when they finally do fail. They're exposed to the elements in some ways, in which case they can rust easily. Exhaust fans in general are also excluded, such as the one for the hood of an oven or one in the bathroom. However, bathroom fans are covered, so it is sometimes a matter of debate between an authorization agent and a technician at the home about whether or not a fan in the bathroom is a bathroom fan or an exhaust fan, and it really depends on the discretion of the authorizations agent and the size of the policy, whether or not they're willing to let a customer cancel their policy, be offered a potential refund over whether or not we want to cover just the fan in the bathroom. Number 8, direct current wiring and systems. So almost every modern residential home has an alternating current, not a direct current system. However, there's some exceptions, and those are explained thusly. Getting right down to it, typically a DC system is only coming from an AC system. There would be a converter, a multi-stage power conversion equipment installed in the home, which would change the AC into DC, and then it would feed appliances that run on DC. Televisions, computers, LED light fixtures, along with batteries, fuel cells, renewable resources such as solar, and electric vehicles would all be running off of DC. If you went out and bought a Tesla today, you would have in the plug an AC to DC converter to charge it. Number 9, we have other types of electrical exclusions that aren't explicit, such as batteries, intercoms, speaker systems, doorbells, timers, touchpad assemblies, transmitters and remotes, and central vacuum systems. Now, doorbells are offered as auxiliary coverage, so they are excluded here twice, actually, in fact. But if you got the auxiliary coverage, you would then have coverage for doorbells. The same goes for central vacuum systems. Central vacuums are not covered, part of the normal policy, the base policy, but you can get auxiliary coverage. Central vacuum systems are pretty rare. Regarding transmitters and remotes, this would almost always be referring to a garage door opener, in which case both of those are excluded also under garage door coverage. So you have two different exclusions to run with depending on how the claim is panning out. A touchpad assembly is also excluded under thermostat coverage under the AC portion of the policy. So fancy thermostats are definitely not going to be covered by the home warranty company under any circumstance. And number 10, saving the best for last, would be broken or severed wires, running of new wiring for a broken wire, and wire tracing. Running of new wire is almost never covered, along with the wire tracing. The purpose is the same thing with the leak detection on the air conditioning portion of the policy. We are forcing the customer to pay on their own out of pocket to determine where the failure is, and then by locating the failure, we will most likely have enough ammunition to kill the claim from there. One of the only reasons why you would have a broken wire in the first place would be due to a power surge of some kind. If the wire is just old and is broken in some places for some reason, it's lost some of its insulation, there's the exclusion built right into the policy right there for broken wires, therefore it wouldn't be covered anyway. Basically, at the end of the day, if a wire has broken, we are very unlikely to cover it. There are so few exceptions to this rule that it almost doesn't make sense to mention them. But if it was a realty policy, and the home inspection report proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that that wire in particular, that circuit, was working properly at the time of the home sale, and then it became inoperable for some reason, and we were able to prove it wasn't because of a power surge somehow, then it would be covered. But the cost of finding that location of the broken wire and replacing it would still be excluded. Just the wire would be covered. At the end of the day, if you have a broken wire or a loss of voltage somewhere along the line, it almost never makes sense to even call it into the warranty company because there are so many ways to deny that claim. You're better off going with your own technician in the first place. Additionally, if you have to rip open a hole in a wall to find the location of a broken wire and run it from there or run a new line somewhere else, it's going to be very labor intensive and leave a couple of spots in the wall that you have to replace. None of that is covered by the warranty policy as well. And thank you for joining us for another video from Scam Home Warranty on the subject of electrical coverage. I appreciate you coming by and watching the video. How about leaving us a like? Maybe comment what's going on with the electricity in your home. Is there a dead zone somewhere? Is one of your outlets not working? Do you have a flickering light? Let us know in the comments. Perhaps it's something I know about and I can help you out. Do consider subscribing and ringing the bell if you haven't done so already. Why don't you consider checking out our Twitter, our Patreon, our Instagram, our Twitch channel, and of course our Reddit, where we recently had the 1300 subscriber special. On the subject of Reddit, today's video was chosen by a subscriber poll that was done for only a single day. I'd like to give a very special thank you to D_B, our tier 3 patron from day one. We really couldn't do it without you. We appreciate everything you've done for us in the past and continue to do so. It's really awesome to have you along with us. And just to point out that if you do join the Patreon, you will have access to some exclusive polls and, of course, direct contact, allowing you to choose, influence, or direct what videos or content are done in the first place. Thank you for coming by, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.